Bitcoin is digital. It doesn't have real value. Welcome to Bitcoin for Skeptics. My name is Nikolai and today we will talk about this statement because I hear it a lot. It's one of the main objections, one of the main criticisms against Bitcoin. And it goes a little something like this. So Bitcoin is basically just a human invention. It is a piece of code somewhere in a computer. How can this be valuable? It doesn't have intrinsic value. It doesn't have objective value. It just has value because human beings say it's valuable. But there's nothing in itself that is valuable about Bitcoin. Very interesting. Is this true? Is this one of the reasons why you could reject Bitcoin? I don't think so. Because I think there is a fundamental mistake about the concept of value. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to ask the question, is there anything physical in our human lives that has objective, intrinsic value? I mean, we probably all agree that there's alive things like human beings and animals and plants, whatever, that do have intrinsic value. But for physical objects, would we say there is something like objective value about things? I do not think so. I think anything physical that exists has value because human beings say it has value, but it doesn't have it intrinsically. Think about it. If you come from a different religion, a different country, a different culture, you will value different things than other people. Or if you're a kid, let's say you're playing on the street, you find some really cool little stones and you start playing with them with your friends 2 hours, 3 hours, and you say the stone is whatever, a friend, and this stone is another friend, and you make up this story. Then comes an adult and he just kicks away the stones and says, hey, stop playing, we're gonna have dinner now. And the kids start crying. They're like, no, don't do this with our stones. And the adult's like, what are you crying about? It's just stones. There's nothing valuable about these stones. For the kids, these stones are incredibly valuable. They start crying because they were gone, right? So it's not objective. Same with adults. So somebody might have a piece of painting on the wall and say, this is so beautiful. I love this painting. Somebody else comes by and says, what is this? Just a piece of crap. Maybe the cleaning lady. She's like, oh, this is hanging here. I don't know what to do with it. She puts it in a trash can. And then the person comes home, is like, what? Where's the painting gone? And she's like, oh, I didn't know it's a painting. And the guy starts crying because he says it's worth thousands of dollars. Does it have intrinsic value? No. It's just the value for that person because that person says it's beautiful for him. I think you can go through so many different examples of things that are valuable to one person are not valuable to other persons. And so the real question is, when do human beings say about different goods or physical objects or even digital objects, when do they say it is valuable, it is worth something? What are the properties, the traits that something needs to have in order for human beings to start appreciating it? And I would definitely say it doesn't have to be physical in order to be valuable. Just think about it. I remember Seyfedin Amus talking about that. You have a laptop. You have all your data on it, your pictures from vacations and your notes that you took and some letters you wrote. And then there's somebody, you leave it in the car and they break in your car, they steal the laptop. And you're like, oh my goodness, it's gone. But you're not really sad because it's gone because the laptop was so beautiful, but because everything that was on it. But the things that were on it, the data, is actually not physical. But still, it's incredibly valuable for you. It's so valuable that you would probably pay thousands of dollars not to get back the physical laptop, but to get back the data on it. Because that data means something to you. We as human beings were meaning machines and we ascribe value to things, and that is very subjective. There is nothing objective about it. Somebody might pay for a concert ticket 500 euros because he really wants to see that band and somebody else says you have to pay me to go there because I hate that music. Nothing objective about it. So the real question then is, what are some of the main reasons why in human histories people have said this is valuable? And I think there are different aspects. Some things are valuable and have become valuable because they solve real world problems. For example, a knife. A knife is valuable because it just helps you get through stuff quicker than without it. Or a bicycle is valuable because it solves the problem of getting from point A to point B in a quicker way. So there are many things that are valuable because we say they solve a problem for us. They might not solve a problem for another person. Another person might say, I love walking, so I don't need a bicycle, so it doesn't solve a problem. Other things are valuable because we say they're beautiful. It's a totally different category. It's not about solving a problem. It's more about what it does to us emotionally. So we might say, I don't know, we cherish this painting or this piece of music or I don't know. And then there are other things, and I would say Bitcoin is in that category. We say they're valuable because they are special in certain regards. And one thing that we always think is special is if something is reliably scarce. There's nothing in human history that has been reliably scarce that has not been adopted by human beings as a store of value. And I think that is one of the main reasons why Bitcoin, the Bitcoin code, the digital thing Bitcoin, has become to be has developed to become very valuable to people, because people have realized that this thing is actually scarce. There cannot easily be made more of it. There is a certain limit, 21 million Bitcoin, and so far nobody has managed to produce more or to change the code in a way that more Bitcoin can be produced. So the longer we wait, the more people realize that Bitcoin is actually the first digital good that is reliably scarce. And because anything scarce has been valued, it is the same thing about Bitcoin, and the more people realize it, the more they will invest in it. I think. It's just an opinion. And that's the same thing with gold. Gold is not valuable because it's shiny. I mean, I know people, when they find a piece of gold and they don't like shiny things, they just don't care about it. It's really valuable because it is scarce. And people have realized that. And of course it has these properties to it as well, that it's shiny, but some people don't like shiny things, so it's not valuable in itself. Okay, that is some of the points, some of the arguments that I start thinking about when somebody says, well, Bitcoin is digital, it doesn't have real value. I hope this was helpful, and I wish you a good day. And of course, I would be very thankful if you add some comments. What do you think about it? Maybe I got something wrong. Maybe it's cool to add something. All right.